still you got to pay the $50 a pop to see their pay-per-view. Obviously, they're always very good pay-per-views. You get your money's worth, no doubt. But they're becoming the outlier of like, I'm waiting for them to make some type of announcement. Like they just announced recently that you can watch now all the 2024 pay-per-views of theirs on Max. Okay, well that's great, but they need to figure something out with the current. They need to figure out what they're going to currently. Because it's not realistic for me to think that they're going to sustain being the only pay-per-view game left in town across pro wrestling, across combat sports. And so I say that to TNA and WWE as they are moving into whatever new chapter they are. TNA is going to have to figure. WWE, aside from getting TNA a better weekly TV deal, and whether that's Wednesday on the CW or what have you, WWE is also going to need to help facilitate getting TNA a different situation that also involves streaming for their premium events. That's a must.
Well, here's the one thing from WWE's standpoint that they have, and that has been great for the company, and that is Nick Khan. Yeah. Nick Khan is the MVP of that company. From Netflix to the ESPN direct-to-consumer brand that they're going to be on, from the big stadium PLEs, that's not, besides WrestleMania, we're talking about the opportunity for WrestleMania to be twice a year. Do you read that this week? That we're going to see one in Saudi and then one in North America. So Nick Khan, I know he stands there unassuming in his TKO wear of the big collared shirt and the jacket over the shirt. But that guy is a wheeler and dealer, and that's because of his relationship in sports and all the agents and all the people that he knows. And he has moved this company forward in a big way. From Tony Khan's standpoint, hey, you're still a neophyte company. It's the idea that they were able to get and swing a deal with HBO Max and TBS and TNT. Good for them. But I know that they've got to be able to move forward. I mean, just being on a whole bunch of different platforms, including Amazon, where we got the $20 off. And it was like some kind of savings last pay-per-view they had. Good for them, right? I just think that if you're an AEW fan, you know what? You are, as you mentioned, getting your money's worth. From bell to bell, you're getting amazing wrestling. You're getting amazing TV wrestling, quite frankly. The company is better now than it was, say, 12 months ago, 16 months ago. Tony Khan knows people, but not like Nick Khan does. And so this is all very interesting. As we talk to you here on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. Well, let's hear from Triple H, by the way, because before Triple Mania took place yesterday, he had a locker room speech.
It's Triple H at Triple Mania.
Yeah. So some thoughts with Triple H right before Triple Mania, talking to the troops, talking to the locker room about his expectations.
I just wanted to take a second to address all of you and tell you how excited we are to be here with all of you today. For everybody here, for all the talent that came before the talent that are here, you all put your heart, your soul, your passion on the line, your blood, sweat, your tears to get us to where we are today. I want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not here to change this. We're not here to take this over. We're not here to make it something different. We're here to do this with you, to enhance what you do, and to make it grow beyond anybody's wildest expectations. Let's take this tonight and build on it from here. All of you guys have been doing it. Now we're going to do it together. So let's turn this into the biggest thing we can possibly think of. Let's all dream big and go work to make it everything we want it to be. All right? Starting tonight.
So Triple H with his speech to the locker room yesterday about Triple Mania. We're not trying to change things. And you know what? Sprinkles of WWE in Triple Mania, but it still felt in a lot of ways authentic to what Triple A has done. It's a sprinkle of WWE, but yet you still were able to get, some of the AAA talent to be able to shine on this event yesterday.
You are all fighting to get to the dance. And believe me, this is the dance. Is that what Paul Heyman said in this game?
Yes. As Harry Funk looked up.
I've tried to always seek out highlights. I've always tried to at least know who's the big name who are the big names that are working on it, just so I can just understand who the big names there, even if I'm not watching, just because that's what we try to do is we're following anything, wrestling, sport, anything. I had gotten more invested in over the years. I have a few friends that have gone down and worked in AAA and worked through Mexico, so that's piqued my interest too, because they come back and they tell me these stories and they show me these pictures, and so that piqued my interest. So I say all that to this point. I don't have a ton of viewing history of the AAA, but when I watched the show last night, it feels different in a lot of times, in a lot of ways, than a WWE show. So to me, that is a good sign if what Triple H is saying to them is the truth. Feel like it is something different and has a different taste in my mouth. And it was a good taste, by the way. But if it has a different taste in my mouth, it's not that to me is like, okay, well then they're doing it. They are keeping its own flavor of AAA. So
I understand what you mean, sir.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good thing, because here's the thing: under Vince, AAA is not authentically Mexican. It is probably leaning definitely into the WWE way more so than how AAA has done business.
Oh God!
And so that is ECW starting their WWE ECW run with the Zombie.
Yeah,
that's what that looks like, or Vince himself as a champion with the do-rag champion.
Right. Yeah, just God. AAA under Vince McMahon, WWE ownership. How do you not shudder in fear and think about Juventud Guerrero and the other LWO members riding out on tractors? That's where the fear goes. Like, good Lord.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
We're well, thanks. Both of us.
I'm of the opinion that this relationship between TNA and WWE, the best possible thing would be better exposure for TNA, because that would bring more fans under the tent. And even more importantly, I think I would like to see them, if WWE eventually buys TNA, run it as a separate company. Don't try to put everything under the same umbrella. This way, you stand a less chance of alienating a group of wrestling fans. And I just want to see what you guys think about that.
See, we appreciate the phone call. I watch TNA. As a matter of fact, I have a TNA After Dark show on the 21st, and I know you're going to be on Monday after Raw, aren't you?
Yes, tomorrow.
You're on Monday night After Dark, and I'm on the 21st. I'm scheduled here, looking at my Paul schedule here. After Dark TNA. After that show's over on Thursday. So it's funny, you and I were talking during the break about the roster, and if anyone hasn't seen TNA and they turn it on, they go, "Hey, there's Tom Phillips." And say, "Oh, there's the Drama King that's doing color," and they go, "Oh, there's Moose, who I've seen on TNA, or there's the Hardys," and just like so. What I would say is that the way I think WWE would do it is kind of how we laid it out. Justin, we're going to see if there is a buy for WWE, if they purchase TNA, we would see more NXT talent on TNA, because it only gives NXT talent more opportunities to wrestle. We bitch about this all the time, how the wrestlers are not getting enough time. They get the once a week or once every couple of weeks. Well, if you're on NXT and you're on TNA, you have multiple times to be able to work. You're just applying your trade, so that way you're getting ready for Raw and SmackDown when you get to the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the caller. Absolutely. It's kind of what I said earlier about how, what Vince didn't do in 01. Mm-hmm. He grabbed WCW, put him in the drawer, and he did a very bad WCW invasion. He grabbed ECW, put him in the drawer, and he took, he cherry-picked the best of what they had left.
My first WCW matchup. We bought WCW. Here's Booker T and Buff Bagwell in Seattle.
Yeah.
The hotbed of WCW.
Right. The furthest point in the United States from Atlanta, Georgia.
And if I'm not mistaken, like a week or two later, they actually were in Atlanta. Like when you could have been able to get the WCW crowd. They're in Seattle. Yeah. This isn't over, pal. They're in Seattle.
And by the way, thank you for actually bringing up location. This is leftover from my confession of last week. My confession last week, to those who missed it, was I can't believe, we're coming up on the 30-year anniversary of WCW Nitro next month.
Yeah.
And I can't believe, and all the throwback and all the gimmick shows that WWE's done over the years, with Raw and Old School Raw, et cetera, I can't believe they haven't brought the WCW Nitro set out of the warehouse into Nitro. What I left out of my confession, also my idea, not just let's do a one night only Nitro, theme Monday night show, but if you run it anywhere from Baltimore south, running to Baltimore, running to the Carolinas, running in Atlanta, people there are going to resonate with that because those are WCW hot markets. So yes, that's left over in my confession. You triggered that with your with the reference to Seattle there.
Yeah, that's what Flair said.
Yeah, I agree with the caller. If as WWE is purchasing AAA, as they inevitably are going to purchase or at least have this grand control of TNA, keep them with their flavors. Let them still let it still feel like a AAA show. Let it still feel like a TNA show. And like you were saying, as we talked about, WWE has a great pipeline of talent that is coming through their performance center and into NXT. And there's only so much time on NXT. WWE really doesn't run many house shows anymore, and I don't blame them because I understand from a financial standpoint the benefit of not. It hurts the wrestlers the most because that's where they got the most reps in of being able to get out there in front of a live crowd, not necessarily on TV. You can stumble and have a misstep and it not be on TV, and you can learn from it and pick it up the next night. So if they do have this other ground in TNA, yeah, if you have a surge of, man, we have these 5 women that are just, they're ready for TV, but we don't have time for them at the moment on NXT, or we would be bumping somebody off TNA or bumping somebody off of NXT who doesn't need to be bumped and send them those 5 over to TNA. Like, so, yeah, you need to keep the shows to their flavors. You need to do that, but it's all a matter of sharing resources is what it comes down to.
Let me tell you something, Justin. They could try. WWE could try. They could continue to go against AEW and at every turn trying to split the audience. They can do that all they want. All I can tell you is this, is that you can put more wrestling on and say, oh, we got TNA under the umbrella, and we've got NXT, and we've got Raw and SmackDown, and we've got this and that. But at some point, you have to have wrestlers to be able to break through. You got to do one of two things. Either try to be able to book big personalities on your show, or either have banger matches. And no, if they could buy TNA today, AEW still has the best matches on TV and on pay-per-view. That's something that's got to change. That's so. I mean, you can have as many shows under your umbrella as possible. Well, we've got this company, we got this company. Great, we got more wrestling. But do you have something that cuts through? Do you have something besides that cuts through? It's one thing to have the big name, but do you have the matches that can be able to say, yep, those are quality, or boy, I can relate to that person or that woman. It's a tough. This is why it's a great wrestling war, because there's so many plate spinning with this.
Well, I get what you're saying, and it's the last part that I agree with you the most. It's guys and girls who just pop off the screen that people remember. Great matches are great, right? Great matches are great, especially for you and I who appreciate the bell to bell. But let's not forget, more than half of your audience, they walk away from that arena, and what resonates with them, especially the WWE arenas, what resonates with them is not necessarily what sequence of moves they saw, but again, it's Mr. Iguana is one of the biggest damn things that has come about in this AAA ownership, that in terms of exposing the WWE audience to new people. And he does some cool things, and he's athletic, but it's when he has the damn stuffed iguana plushie on his shoulder, he's floating around. My point being is that, yes, you could have great matches in AEW. I'm not discrediting that, and I'm certainly not discrediting the guys and girls who put it on. I fully respect what they do. But that's not, that to the masses, that's not what resonates. It is giving the character and the person who was in those great matches. I always say this. AEW's got a lot of great talent. I always say this. Who's the number one person that I always walk away from every AEW show saying, that was my absolute favorite segment?
Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm, yes. Yeah. And I'm not discrediting Tony. She does good work in the ring. But that's usually second or third on my list of what got me when I watch Dynamite or when I watch the pay-per-view that involves her. And it's my point. So, that's just...
And she had a great promo on Collision to start off the show on this past Saturday.